Hello, everyone. I'm Brandon,
And I'm Mom.
and welcome back here to Tansson Talks TV.
Yep, so glad to have you back again.
Yeah, and so, Mom, I hope that you're doing well today.
I am doing fine, Brandon. How are you doing today?
I'm doing quite well, and I'm so excited for us to get into our discussion today.
Yep, so am I.
And so, Mom, what show are we speaking about today?
We are talking about Sister Sister.
Yes, I really can't wait.
Yep, I can't wait either.
Yeah, and so just to provide some background information, Sister Sister was a TV sitcom that was on from 1994 to 1999, ran 6 seasons and 119 episodes, and I'm very excited for us to get into it.
Yep, sounds good. And Brandon, kind of like I did last time, if you want me to give the information synopsis, we are talking about the first episode, which is called The Meeting. All right. And so I'm kind of do the top 10 again. So, number one, I'll talk a little bit about the premise. First of all, Tia and Tamara are twins separated at birth. Um, say both girls are to the for this particular episode, both girls are together at the beginning watching a movie. They're laying across the bed, kind of enjoying themselves, and then they kind of speak directly to the camera. So they do break that fourth wall, and so or speak to the audience rather, and they explain how they found each other to the audience. Um, Apparently Tia, they're twins. Tia was adopted by her mother named Lisa, and then Tamara was adopted by her father named Ray, and then his wife also. However, at this time, Tamara's mother has passed away. But anyway, both girls discover each other in a clothing store, and they are there, and they end up confusing the store clerk. Um, the parents come together and realize that both have girls that look just alike, and so the girls kind of discover that they're twins because of the same birth date. But anyway, the next scene we have a little bit takes place off camera, where Ray and Lisa, the parents of the girls, um, they actually go and visit the adoption agency where they both got the girls, and they have a little commentary about the adoption agency. But together, both parents decide that the girls need to spend time with each other. Number six. Um, Lisa has an interesting life and she kind of loses her job, and she's a seamstress. And so she finds another job. However, this job would take her out of town. It would take her to, I think, St. Louis, and which would involve her moving her daughter Tia. Since the girls had just found each other, that would devastate both of them. So the girls ended up running away. And so they very quickly, because Tia is very kind of the twin who kind of does everything right. She left her mother a message of where she was going to be. So both their parents did find both of them. They were kind of at the bus station, and then because Lisa has lost her job, Ray was kind enough to take them into his home. He has a nice big house, and so he takes them into his home, and so the girls are able to live together and to grow up together also. And then this actually begins the adventures of Sister Sister. For those people who are watching the episode, I left out an important character named Roger. You have to watch the episode to find out who Roger is and see how he fits in.
Ooh, an incentive for everyone to go, tune into the episode. I hope that everyone go ahead and, heads there and let us know. What do you all think of Roger?
Yes, you'll have to let us know what you think of him.
Yeah, but overall, thank you so much, Mom, for the synopsis.
Oh, you are welcome.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that this is an episode that I have seen probably through and through, and I think at some points I have even like memorized even the lines, especially the beginning.
Yes, I never would have known that, Brandon. But yes, when we watched it, you did. You said the lines as they were occurring. So yes, you have memorized the lines.
But yeah, when this first started, well, coming on in the, of course, reruns that I was watching, it was on the Hub Network cable station right before the channel disappeared forever. But But nevertheless, though, I have seen many of these episodes, a couple of times here and there, but I really haven't like seen them lately per se. Aside from maybe like three or four of them, um, but nevertheless, I always find them so fun. And so, Mom, for you, like how much of the series have you seen?
Well, I've seen the whole series, and of course, I kind of watched it while it was on. But yes, I've seen the whole series, and I've seen it in reruns also. Like I said, Bran, you said you haven't seen it in a while, but you sure knew the lines. I can say that it had been a while since I seen it, so I didn't know a couple of the lines, but besides that, it was kind of like refreshing a little bit to watch it again.
And was there anything that happened in this episode that you didn't remember?
That I didn't remember. Um, Probably a little bit of the background about them, like the adoption agency and that part. That part I didn't remember, but the majority of the episode I kind of remembered how it flowed.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, I pretty much remember like a good majority of the episode, and if anything, I think that I don't remember would have to be. I mean, I think I really have memorized most of it, but
Hmm.
if anything, I would actually say it was them being back at Ray's house, and figuring everything out, just all the dialogues and the specifics of it. But yeah, I mean, I think for the most part I remember most of it. But Ma, who would you say is what character stand out to you in this episode?
Stands out. Lisa stands out because Lisa was just funny. Yeah, she made both of us laugh out loud while we were watching it. And then, just so the audience know, your brother came down and he was laughing too. So there, so we did laugh out loud watching this episode.
Yes, yes, I definitely will say that. You know, I mean, I'm very selective with my favorites per se, but I will have to say that the character of Lisa Landry is probably my favorite TV mom. I mean, she's just so humorous in the way that that she just exists. But I think this episode really, I think, starts off a really good point for us to get to know Lisa just a little bit and her life before we actually, progress on with the series.
Yep, it does. They do a really nice job with it, and I think, the way she and Ray kind of act together, also, I think they do a really good job of just kind of. I mean, they're a good match. Obviously, not married or anything like that. They live their own lives just to be together because of the kids, but they play off each other really well.
Yes, and something that that the twins, actually mention in this episode is that, at least here, that Ray and Lisa act like a divorced couple, but they've barely even know each other, but they sort of have a like antagonistic in this episode view of each other, but they both want what's best for the girls.
Yep, very true, very true.
And and judging based off of how Lisa in the rest of the series, how would you say that she is in this episode?
How is she in this episode? I think she's pretty consistent. I mean, her character for the most part remains the same. It's a little diversion from it. I'm gonna refer to 227 with that she was on previously, and so even though the same, I don't want to say same type of character, but the acting's still a little bit the same. But meaning that is very she stands out as a character.
Yes, yes, definitely. Jack A. Harry does a great job with playing Lisa Landry in this, and I will say for me, I think what changes a little bit for me in terms of understanding Lisa's character is throughout the rest of the series. I feel like she's a very like free and easygoing character. But
Mhm.
whereas in this episode, like we can see that she is truly working for everything that she has.
Mhm.
She is a seamstress, but but she went to school for design,
Mhm.
and that she's just truly kind of struggling to make ends meet. And so it's interesting seeing Lisa. in this form, but yet at the same time, she still was very open and free, but within the constraints of her life.
Yes, yes. And it kind of leads the way a little later to where she becomes pretty successful as a seamstress, but then a design with the design also. And they're really consistent of making sure that her job is the same throughout.
Yeah, and to change it up, Mom. So, what would you say is something that you may have seen in this episode that you would kind of want to learn more about?
Um, Probably Roger. Even though I didn't talk about Roger in the synopsis, Roger is, and I'm not spoiling this for anyone, he is the teenager who lives next door. But we don't know anything about Roger's life. Roger just appears, and he's always there. And so knowing about his life would be something that would be interesting to know.
Yeah, and I would actually like to say I would want to know about Ray's former wife.
Mhm,
We mentioned he mentions that he is widowed and that he's been raising Tamara for quite some time by himself, but he's still getting used to it.
mhm.
But I'm kind of curious as to how long exactly it's just been him because I don't know. I don't think his wife is really fully explored or fleshed out in the series, but I would like to know more about their dynamic.
Yeah, and you're right, Brandon. I don't really, I mean, I remember them referring to her a few times in the series, but it really was just in references. I don't remember her being fleshed out as a character.
Yeah, but I will say that, something I like about the show is, like I said, with the parents, is that even though, of course, the focus is on the twins, is that, both Ray and Lisa truly wants what's best for, both of their daughters. And and sort of like the work that they put in to try to be a cohesive family, despite the fact that this is a very untraditional traditional family.
Yes, yeah, it is. And like you said, and the relationship between the girls is interesting to watch throughout the series also.
Yeah, and I will note too that the way that the series introduced itself too, like you mentioned in your synopsis a little bit, with hanging out in their bedroom, is that you first of all see Ray speaking to Tamara, and she's saying like good night, Dad, and everything, whereas Tia saying Dr. Campbell, which is all before they start breaking that fourth wall. So I guess for new viewers, you might be a little confused, which sort of leads into that backstory.
Yes, and that's how they kind of lead into the speaking directly to the audience to let them know what's going on.
Yeah, and what do you think about the fourth wall breaking there?
I thought it was effective this for this particular episode. I mean, they kind of like you said, the background's there, and then it's just a let me explain it, and this way they can explain it in their own words per se, but yet doing it in a flashback episode at the same time.
Definitely. And Mom, is there anything else that you want to highlight for this first episode of Sister Sister?
I don't think anything. Well, your opinion, Brandon? What do you think made this show likable?
I would like to say, like, truly the family dynamic of it because, they haven't known each other as long as a traditional family, but
Mm,
yet they sort of behave like a traditional family because even the tight knit relationship between Tia and Tamara, I mean, they first met in the flashback of this episode, so they haven't even known each other that long. And while, you know, I think Ray and Lisa throughout the series act like like I don't know, like a traditional parents, but yet at the same time, like there's no, you know, they're not like the traditional parents because I mean they're truly just there for for each of their respective daughters, and
mm,
so in that sense, I kind of like seeing the dynamic between them, and it's one of the things where it's just like they're just a family that you just want to tune in and tune into and explore every week. I mean, just to see the dynamics and the hijinks that are happening, but yet that they're all a real family.
yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. But no, Brandon, I think that's it. You've hit upon everything that I had written down here. Oh,
Cool,
I'm
that's
sorry.
perfect.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did leave something out. The theme song brand. Um, I kind of, well, the first episode didn't really have a theme song. At least when we tried to look to see if we found the original, we did not see a theme song there. But we know that the episodes through after that all had a theme song. Um, I gave it an 8 because I mean it's not too long. It is easy to memorize. It's very catchy, and so for me, the theme song's an 8.
Yeah, and yes, this episode does not have a theme song, and it plays the each of the credits through like the opening sequence as Tia and Tamara are watching their scary movie, but which is a sequence I definitely love and have memorized, but yeah, I would definitely say like for the traditional season one theme song, I really liked it, and it has a lot of storytelling into it.
Hmm.
Uh, for those of you who haven't checked out past the first episode, go ahead and click on episode 2 because I think the theme song is really fun. I like that it evolves throughout the series.
Hmm. Very true. And I know they've had some talk about whether or not Sister Sister will ever come back. So it'll be interesting to see if they ever do a reunion show with them.
Oh yeah, I would love for for it to come back because I mean I think it's truly like one of those I don't know timeless shows, and I think I don't know the flow really worked, and I loved the dynamic between each of the main characters,
Hmm.
and so like I said, I would love to see a new one, but I'm biased towards revivals, so.
Yeah, I know you are, Brandon. I know you are. And we hope that our audience will be kind enough to just let us know what shows they want us to explore and if they have any comments about Sister Sister itself.
Yeah, and if you know yeah, and if you all have any additional thoughts, feel free to let us know in the comments as well, because we'd love to come back for y'all and start a little community here.
Yep, we sure would.
But Mom, this has been great as always, and I hope that you enjoyed this as much as I do.
I sure did. I sure did.
That is great to hear. Thank you all so much for tuning in to this episode of Tansson Talks TV, and I hope that you all enjoyed it just as much as the both of us.
All right. Y'all have a good evening or good day.
See you next time.
Bye bye.